Good evening, welcome to Michaelantonio Live once again, and have I got a great show for you tonight. Some big news from the Trump election front. You are not going to believe what I have for you. I just found this out today, and you're also not going to believe where this came from. It's amazing. Do you know that it's possible that Trump doesn't have to leave office no matter what the results of the election? I know that sounds shocking, doesn't it? But you're about to find out right now that that is absolutely true. What I said to you is true. Trump can stay for 4 more years if he wants. And there's really nothing that they can do to stop him. I thought that was very interesting. When I first heard it, I almost didn't believe it. But like I said before, you are not going to believe where this information came from. It's pretty much an ironclad confirmation of the truth. Absolutely, that what I'm telling you right now, the claim that I'm making is absolutely and utterly true. Before we do all that, I do want you to go ahead and go to my website, michaelantonio.biz, and check that out. You get a lot of the daily news from different sources, and you don't have to worry about that negative spin that the leftist media puts on things. You're going to get a lot of different stories that are more moderate and, in many cases, conservative. So you're really going to enjoy that. Also, don't forget to go to my store on my website. It's, of course, michaelantonio.biz/shop. And you are going to enjoy some of the great products I have. I have some Trump hats. I do sell MAGA hats as well. And those are my own design. You can get those on there. So please don't hesitate to check that out. And just explore the site and tell me what you think about it. Okay, so now on to the top story that I really, meant to tell you about in this video. I think it's important. And this is going to be fun, guys. I promise. I'm going to tell you this is amazing stuff. And we're going to start, first of all, by showing you this gentleman to my left, no pun intended. His name is Van Jones. For those of you who don't know him, he is an avowed leftist Democrat. He believes in things that, most of us don't believe in. And he actually worked for the Obama administration as a special counsel for green energy. The guy, come on, you can tell that's a left-leaning, at the very least, a left-leaning type of philosophy. And, so you'd never expect somebody like this to be telling us how President Trump can refuse to step down, cannot concede, and actually he has a mechanism for staying in office and just electing himself using the power of his office. Believe it or not, this can be done, and Van Jones explains it to us. What I'm going to do is there was a video that you can watch of him explaining this. It's a TED Talk that Van Jones did recently. And believe it or not, I can't show the video to you because it's copyright protected, but I will link it in the description. So go down and take a look at it. And you are going to be amazed. I think you're going to like it. And it's going to really be a big eye-opener. But he starts out by essentially talking about the traditions that we follow in the electoral process when we go through these elections. And of course, tradition dictates certain things that we see every 4 years. We know the drill. We've seen it all of our lives. And it pretty much stays the same. Not much changes. However, Van Jones explains very explicitly that, believe it or not, you don't have to follow that blueprint. There is no law that says you have to do it exactly the way that, the process has been used. Now, yeah, as far as electoral voting and specifics of the Electoral College, that's something you have to follow. But when you get to a certain point, what happens is there's something that the president can do to circumvent this. And by him essentially not stepping down, not conceding, he can actually, using what they say is the Congress, he can actually choose essentially his own electors through the state governments, each state. And he can actually essentially appoint himself the president for the next 4 years. This can be done. You have to watch the video that Van Jones does. But to me, it's the most, I've never heard of anything like this, and it's very shocking to me. So I want you guys to share this video, let people know that this is possible, and it's something I believe that Trump should pursue. And I'm going to tell you why he should pursue this. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds amazingly crazy. But I'm going to tell you why he needs to do this. But before that, I want you to go ahead and like this video, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell, please. And I want your comments. I don't care if you agree or disagree with me. Tell me if you think it's a good idea for Trump to pursue this particular line of action, this course of action, to basically say, I don't care what the supposed or alleged election results were. We were cheated out of this, and I'm not going to let it happen. Look, there's a lot of people that would just cringe at this and say, are you kidding me? What, are you acting like a king? This is craziness. No, I'm going to tell you why I think Trump should do it. And I will put a little bit of a disclaimer on this before we go any further. I will say this is only in the event that we have concrete evidence and proof that there is widespread voter fraud and that it was enough, the voter fraud was enough to change the election in the critical states. In other words, that they were able to steal those electoral votes from those critical states. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, possibly Georgia. There's a lot of states in play here. So what I'm saying to you is that we, if, in fact, we find the evidence, and I believe they have it, I don't think the president would be doing this if there wasn't enough evidence to go forward with this. So here's what we do. Let's say the president doesn't win in this legal battle. Let's just say that at the end of the day, the Supreme Court decides against what he's trying to do. I'll just give you an example of one thing he's trying to do. He's trying to make sure that the votes that came in to Pennsylvania after Election Day are not validated. Why? Because the legislature of Pennsylvania has already made a law that says that those votes by mail that come in after Election Day are not to be validated. Okay? It's as simple as that. That's what the legislature said. Now, the Constitution says that you must follow the state laws made by the legislatures in those states. That's a fact. That's what the Constitution says. Therefore, when the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said, no, we're going to let those ballots be counted, they actually violated the Constitution and the laws of the state of Pennsylvania. So actually, if it was going to be a fair assessment by the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, they would absolutely have to say, you know what, you have to follow this law. Therefore, those ballots can't be counted. And I can guarantee you that would secure a Trump victory in Pennsylvania. Now, that's not much. I can't say anything about Georgia. If Georgia happens to turn south on Trump, I don't know. Arizona, that's another situation. If Trump loses Arizona, and if he can't find a way to get Nevada, or if he loses in Michigan in his legal attempts. So there's a lot of things going on here. I mean, this is a pinball game over here. There's a lot of balls up in this thing. So we don't really know what's going to happen, but we do know that if he loses all of that, let's say he loses every single legal challenge, it doesn't matter. He can simply say, I refuse to concede because I know the truth. I know that the Democrats cheated their way into this victory. And they have been telling us all along that they were going to do it. And that's actually true. They did say it. And we did see what Joe Biden said about them having this network, this voter fraud network. What is it? Something like the biggest one in history? Would they say American history? I mean, this is amazing stuff. We have all this evidence that these guys were going to do this beforehand? They've been warning us about it. They've been saying, look, we're not going to know on election night. I don't know of any other, except for 2000, the Bush v. Gore. I don't know of any other election where it went past election night where we didn't know what was going on. So, I mean, something's not right here because, Bush v. Gore was, of course, an outlier. That doesn't happen very often. But the thing about Bush v. Gore is that it was something that really, it wasn't planned. Nobody warned, the Democrat Party didn't warn us that, we're going to go do something here. We're going to make sure that every vote is counted. We're going to pour mail-in ballots into the system and shove them through. And we're going to break the law, by the way. We're going to violate the legislatures of those states that say you can't count those ballots after Election Day if they've been sent in after Election Day. I don't care what they're postmarked. They're violating laws left and right, and they say, we're going to do this. They've already said they're going to do it. The Democrats have said they're going to do that. So the point is, every single thing that they are doing is a violation of the law, and they've warned us. Not true of Bush v. Gore. So that was a different situation. Now here we come. So, election night. Now, doesn't it seem peculiar to you that on election night, Trump is trouncing Biden in these swing states, in these critical states? Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania especially. He was winning by something like, 700,000 or 800,000 votes? That's unheard of, especially by a Republican. That was amazing. He was winning in other states. Georgia, he was, I was looking on the New York Times site, and they said that Trump had a better than 95% chance of winning Georgia. So, I mean, something happened. Doesn't it seem peculiar to you that all of a sudden in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it was, they shut down and say, we're done for the night. We're going to stop. Why would they stop counting? And then just a few short hours later, they did a massive voter dump. What is that? Something is not right here. That has never been done, and that tells you that something filthy is going on. I've heard some other rumors. I don't know if these things are true. If anybody wants to tell me, please leave it in comments. Let me know if this is true. I've also heard that most of or maybe all of the ballots, all of the legal ballots, have a watermark on them that can't be seen, and that if the Democrats have been cheating and basically printing out other ballots that are not legal, that we would be able to find out if they're committing fraud. I don't know how true that is, but I know that if it is true, it's going to be pretty easy for Trump to win this election without having to take any other actions. What I'm talking about here tonight. So, what I would say is, if you, as a Republican or an independent or a Democrat, I don't care who you are, do you believe that if you know there's ample evidence to say, I'm not leaving, I don't care what the Democrats do or say, I don't care what the media says, you're committing a crime here by saying that you won the election when you clearly cheated to win the election. So what I'm saying to you is, would you want to go forward? If you knew within a reasonable, in a reasonable way, if you knew that in fact there was enough cheating, it doesn't even have to be, 50% fraudulence. It doesn't have to be 20%. It only has to be 1 to 2% fraudulence, and that's how they can steal the election. So if you knew that, let's say there was 1% fraudulence, that's enough to take Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, possibly Nevada, I believe Nevada, maybe even Michigan and Wisconsin. So what I'm saying is, if you have a 1% fraudulence, do you think that would be something that Trump could say, I'm going to ignore this and I'm going to stay in office and I'm going to set up my own little system and make sure that it just stacks in my favor? You're done. I'm staying for 4 more years. Pound sand. Pound sand, Democrats. You lose and I win. Does he do that? Do you agree with that? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please let me know. I don't care if you disagree. In fact, I kind of like that more because I want to engage. I want to know, and maybe I want to be, I think he should do it. I don't know. I think that if it's that extreme, we have to teach these Democrats a lesson. If you let them win this election knowing there was fraud, then shame on America. Shame on us for not backing up Donald Trump. I got to tell you guys, I was watching on the news today, all of these Republican leaders who are afraid to back up Donald Trump on this. They are shameful people. They have no backbone. They are absolutely fearful little ground weevils. These people should not even have any position of authority. They should not be public servants if they're not going to back up a president who clearly knows more than even we know about what's going on. Believe me, his experts, his ground team is feeding him this information constantly, telling him, look, we know what's going on here. This is not good. And I want you guys to remember this. It only takes 1% fraudulence. Think about that for a minute. It doesn't have to be. I hear a lot of Democrats, I was having some arguments with some Democrats, I hear a lot of them saying, oh man, what do you think? They're like cheating everywhere. It's happening everywhere. And they're, it's all the ballots are fake and they're laughing at me. And I'm thinking, no, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be. It can be 1%. It can be 0.5% in some cases. And that's enough to swing the election to Biden. That's how close this is. So, and that's assuming that there isn't more fraudulence. If it is actually 5 to 10% fraud, I don't know that, but I'm saying that, let's say it's only 0.5% or 1% in these states. Guess what? Biden gets it. So we have to figure out a way to change history here. And I'm going to tell you right now, Donald Trump, every step of the way, has changed history. Every step of the way, this guy has found a way to do things a little differently and to really anger those leftists and those Democrats. And he's actually angered some Republicans, too, because their attitude is, well, this has never been done before. What's the matter with you? Well, maybe some things need to be done. Maybe some things need to be done differently. Remember, some of these things are traditions. They're not law. They're not canon in the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say it has to be done exactly this certain way. There's a lot of things that can be done differently. And remember, I'm getting this directly from Van Jones. This guy is not somebody that you would look at and say, well, that's a right-wing partisan. No, he's a left-wing partisan. He would like nothing more than for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to take over this country. Are you kidding me? So, if he's saying that, you know that there's at least an element of truth to what he's saying. And I think he's doing it because he is afraid that it will happen. And he's trying to alert his people. He's trying to alert the left wing to say, look, we got to fight this, because if we don't fight this, he's just going to do it without any resistance. And you got to remember, he can still do it anyway. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able, I don't think that these people are going to be able to stop Trump if he just decides to do it. But I think from a psychological standpoint, they can certainly try to. And of course, you know how they're doing it, because they're doing it now. This is what they're doing. They're putting pressure on the weak Republicans to say, look, guys, you can't accept this. This guy's a nut job. Look what he's doing. He's completely turning this place upside down. But see, that's why we hired Trump. We want him to turn Washington upside down. Let's not forget, guys. Let's not forget why we put him there. We put him there to turn that place upside down and inside the hell out. We don't want their old way of doing things, the deep state, how they control every part of our lives. They've been stealing from us forever, for many decades. And it's over now. It has to end. And if you lose Trump now, you're losing all that hard work that we put in. We might as well kiss it all goodbye, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be difficult to get it back. These people are not playing games. These people are cutthroat. These people are pure evil. And they don't play soft. They aren't fooling around. So yeah, they're going to go after the Republicans, the weak ones, and they're going to tell them, look, just toe the line here, buddy. Maybe we'll throw you a bone. That's how they act. We need some strong people. We need some people in Washington who are going to back up our president, who are going to say, you know what? Enough is enough, people. Enough is enough. We're going to do what we're going to do, and you're just going to sit there and grin and bear it. And even if you don't grin, you're still going to bear it. You're going to have to deal with this, and you're going to have to, speaking of Barrett, that's funny, grin and Barrett, Amy Coney Barrett. She could be the deciding factor in this whole election. And I certainly pray that God gives her the wisdom to make the right choices. But I'm telling you, do you really think this is the right course of action? I personally do. If Trump doesn't actually win the election, or at least the alleged election that they tried to foist on us here with all this fraud, do you think he should simply say, no, I'm going to ignore all that because you guys cheated. I know you cheated, and I'm not following your rules. Because remember, their rules are not the rules. Their rules are not the law of the land. Their rules are simply their traditions that they use to keep us in line. This is not some conspiracy craziness. This is the truth, guys. Look what they're doing. They're shaming these Republicans into saying terrible things about Trump. These people are shameless. Remember what happened when Trump was running against a lot of these Republicans in the primaries. They're weak. They're dead wood. They are the weakest link, and we got to get rid of them. We have to get them out of power. All of them. Chris Christie, he's a weakling. These people are just, they just say whatever the left wing wants them to say. Why are we so, can somebody answer me this, riddle me this, Batman? Why is it that nobody has the cojones to just be like Donald Trump? To say, you know what, screw these guys. I don't care. They're a bunch of losers. Show me in the law book where it says that we have to do it this way. Show me. Because you guys have been breaking the law for how many years now? You've been breaking the law for many decades, hurting us, putting our lives in a meat grinder for how many years, stealing our tax money, and telling us to shut up and like it. And you know what? It's your turn now. It's your turn now to sit down, shut up, and let us take over again. This is our country, we the people. It's designed for all of us to live our lives the way we want to live our lives. Freedom. Live and let live. And I'm tired of it. And by the way, I think that's true for anyone. If you're a leftist, if you're a person that's a liberal, a classic liberal, and you believe in the freedom that you want to live your life the way you want to live your life, that's fine. As long as you're not infringing on my rights, go ahead. And I'll go as far as to say, if you're a communist and you want to live in a commune and invite all your friends to live there with you, go for it. Go for it. But here's the thing. You don't get to tell us that we have to live like that. You don't get to take our tax money from us and use it for your own enrichment. You have to use your own money. You have to get together as a little group and decide, okay, everybody pitch in. See how that works for you. Good luck. And that's great. Like I said, it's up to you. In fact, I hope you're successful. I hope you live out your whole life in a commune, loving life every day. As long as you're not bothering the rest of us. That's fine. It is. I believe in that. But like I said, these Democrats today don't believe in that. They want to control all of us. If they don't like what you're doing, you don't get to do it. They don't like your guns, they want to take them from you. That's just the way they are. They don't like certain things about your life. Nope, you don't even get to have an opinion about lifestyles that they support. You're not even allowed to have an opinion. I think about that. It's thought police. That is thought control, kids. And that is what Joe Biden represents, and especially Kamala Harris. She's 10 times worse. This is what could be in our White House in a very short time. And I'm telling you right now, if Trump doesn't do something, and if we don't back him up and take a stand, it's exactly what's going to happen. So guys, remember that. Trump doesn't have to leave. He can stay. And he can just ignore them and say, nope, I'm having my own electors in those states, all my red states. I'm going to have them all choose me. And you, the rest of you can go pound sand. We're done with you. Goodbye. Don't forget to write. I mean, really, it's over, guys. It really is over. It's up to him, though, and it's up to us to back him up. We have to stand strong. We can't say, Oh, man, let them have what they want. After all, it's the sane thing to do. It's the tradition. It's what we've always done. You know, ironically, it's funny that these same people that talk about doing it like we traditionally do things, these are the same people who lived in the 60s. They were the flower children. They were the ones who believed in the free love, freedom of expression. Not tradition. Do what you want. Change things up. You know? Go against the system. They were going against the system, these same people. And now because they are the system, they got the power. And again, it comes down to power and greed. See, the people who are not in power always want the power. And they will do whatever it takes. They have the rebel spirit, right? Now, they got the power. And now guess what? Trump comes along and says, nah, we don't like that. And they're like, wow, that little whippersnapper, get off my lawn. Our tradition is what's most important. Really? You didn't think that in the 60s when you were, you know, smoking a joint at a rock concert, you know, in the middle of a field somewhere. Lord knows what, you know, what you were doing with who. I mean, it's just, this is what I'm saying. These same people are acting, they're acting like these traditional conservatives as far as the system, the way they go about electing. Why? Because they know that it kind of, you know, it kind of keeps everybody in line. The rest of us have to kind of stay that course. Do it the way we've always done it, or else, oh, something wrong with you. That's what they're trying to do to us. Look, I'm not going to drone on forever about this. You know what's going on. Van Jones even said it. He said the president doesn't have to leave office. He doesn't have to by law. There is no law that says that the Biden campaign, the Biden administration, gets to take over. No matter what the media says, no matter what they declare, it doesn't matter. The Electoral College can declare it and certify it, and it doesn't matter. Trump can stay. End of story. Right from the mouth of Van Jones. So, I want to give a salute to Mr. Van Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones. You've done us a great service by this wonderful exhortation. So now, I'll put the link if you want to watch that particular video by Van Jones there. It's fascinating, I got to tell you. But in the meantime, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. It's my pleasure. Please don't forget. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with as many people as you can. Let them know that Trump doesn't have to leave. It doesn't matter what the election produces because it's fraudulent. So what I'm saying is get this video out to as many people as you can get it out to and let them know Trump doesn't have to leave. He can have 4 more years. And personally, I think he deserves it anyway after how they've treated him over the last 4 years. They've been they have destroyed his ability to govern fully the way he wants to govern. In fact, he should get 8 more years just for his troubles. So, guys, thank you so much again. Again, comment. Give me your thoughts on this. Share, guys. We got to get this out to everybody. Thank you so much. It's very, very important. Before I go, once again, I'm going to show you my website here, michaelantonio.biz, Michael Antonio Live. And I would like you to, when you go there, you're going to get a pop-up, yes, that's going to ask you to join my subscriber list so you can get all the news of the day that you'll ever need. And again, it's all in one place, so you don't have to worry about searching around for the news. It's all going to come to you in one little neat email. So you can come down to the bottom here and subscribe the notifications, or just do it on the pop-up when you go to the site. Please, I encourage you to do so. Also, you'll find several different little banners here that show you how to join me on like all the different sites, Facebook and Instagram, and of course YouTube. You can go to YouTube and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And of course, I have my shopping. Get some things here. I got a lot of cool stuff, Trump stuff, and other things too. Also have some of my YouTube videos available for you to just pop right on and check them out. A lot of interesting, cool stuff. Please do not hesitate. And remember as well, here at the end of this video, you'll see some neat little playlists and videos that you might want to check out on my YouTube. It's very interesting stuff. It's stuff that you will agree with and love, and great stuff to share for all your friends and family, people that don't quite understand yet what the political process is all about and what, kind of like the right way to think philosophically. I would hope that I have some of the answers, maybe not all of them, but who knows? It's for you to check out, and I do invite you to watch the videos and comment on them and give me some great ideas. I am big on the exchange of ideas. Even if I disagree with you, I want to hear it. I love a good debate, and, that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see the engagement. So, just a lot of stuff coming up. But this video was very important because I want people to understand that the president has a lot of remedies in this situation because we know the fraud that's going on here. He doesn't have to accept the election results if the Biden team steals this. He does not have to accept it. Please tell your friends and family, share this video. Thank you guys so much.